y'all. Welcome to this week's episode of What I Know So Far. Hi, Kay.
Hi, Trish.
You
How are
look
you?
beautiful. Can I just tell you how pretty you look?
Oh, well, back at you.
Oh,
I love that olive.
thank you. And I love that pink. Look at us. By the way, I
You know,
like pink and olive together. This
I
is a
do too.
I enjoy what we've done here. Y'all, welcome to What I Know So Far. We are so tickled. I don't even know what episode number this is, but I know that we want you to follow along, hit the follow, subscribe, whatever you want to do, because we love bringing you episodes, fresh episodes. And
Yes,
Karen and I are doing it from everywhere. Where are you right now, Kay?
I'm in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, I love Columbia. Go Gamecocks.
Yes, and Dawn Staley and the women's
Yeah,
national champions.
thank
Yeah,
you. I was about to say, and then there's Dawn, which we have to do a whole entire episode on women's sports and the evolution. Can we please just put that in the list of things we want to do?
yes, absolutely. I would love to. I
I
mean,
think
and
so
I'm
too.
so excited that Caitlin Clark has brought so much attention back to women's basketball.
Yes.
And I was a pioneer, so when I
Yes,
played.
I was about to say, honey, you're the OG. So you are so appreciative.
I actually invented basketball and
Did you?
played back in the 1800s.
Well, honey, you look darling. Whatever you're doing, keep that vampire juice going.
So anyway, but yes, we should definitely do a future episode on that. It'd be fantastic.
I think so. I think we're putting that on the list. Corey, you can't see our magic producer, Corey, but Corey's in the background because we're an all-female podcast over here. How about that? If you want to give more female shout-outs. Corey, would you please write down that we're going to do the magic of women in sports, because I know Karen and I could wax poetic about our love of it. So, and we could have some great female athletes on too.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't I think of that sooner? Lord, see, this is what happens when I start thinking.
Just have to keep our thinking caps on and
See,
we'll come up with all kinds of great things.
isn't it amazing? We were talking about what we wanted to do today because y'all have sent us some really great questions, and we were going to do a day in the life with us because we have what I like to call home life day in the life and then road life day in the life.
Yes. And it's very different.
Very different, Kay. Speak on that. I think you should tell everybody first what your day in the life. Let's do road. You want to do road life first?
Road life. Well, you can see here my road life. I'm in a hotel room, and
So you get up in the morning. Well, no, it starts with you leaving the house at an airport. Should we do that? Like back it all the way up?
yeah, I go, get to the airport and usually wheel in there and have to park in short-term parking because I'm cutting it so close.
Really? I have never known that about you, Kay. Are you really a cut it close? Because Karen and I usually meet at a venue or we ride together, which is a different than the airport. But are you a last minute Lucy?
Not always, but I am when it comes to a 6 o'clock flight.
Oh yeah, those are a booger.
It's just, I mean, it's so hard for me to get really there super early. So I'm never in risk of missing my flight, but I will leave the house going, I got plenty of time. It's no big deal. I'm fine. I got plenty of time. And then all of a sudden, I mean, like 5 minutes out, I'm like, I'm not going to make it.
This happened. What snuck up on me?
And then I get into the Chattanooga airport, which is practically
Easiest
nothing.
airport. Easiest airport.
Going to a bus stop or something. And then I get in there and I go, oh, I got plenty of time. So it's just like this procrastination, trying to get every minute sleep I can, to suddenly a panic mode, and then to, oh, I got plenty of time. And then so the next time I think, oh, I got plenty of time. And then I go through the whole thing again.
Wait, let me ask this. This is a big one for me. Do you pack the night before and bags are at the door, or do you wait till the last minute to zip up?
I usually pack the night before.
Okay.
But I will have those last minute toiletries,
Yes.
all the things, and that I throw in right before I leave.
Can I tell you that my husband and Jace, who has been a rock star for a long time, so he's touring musician for years, right? And he said to me on this last time when I was going to leave the house the night before, he goes, "Babe, why aren't the suitcases by the door?" And I said, "Well, I've got to be able to throw in my toiletries." And he looked at me with the most common sense man thing ever said, ever, but it has never dawned on me. He looked at me and goes, why don't you just buy duplicates of everything so that you can have a home set and a road set? And I looked at him with such venom, like, what kind of mayhem? What kind of chaos? Like, that makes too much sense. What in the fresh hell are you talking about?
Well, and I have done that at times, but then I don't replenish my travel stuff, and then start going back and forth, swapping it from home
Yeah,
to travel,
yeah.
and then I'll get around to doing that again. But
Okay, I said the same thing. We were talking about makeup specifically, and I
yeah,
said, "No, my makeup is my makeup bag." And he goes, "I don't understand why you just don't make a duplicate." And I looked at him with straight venom. Like, it made way too much sense, but at the
yeah.
same time, I thought, "No, because I like this brush for this blush, and I can't find this brush." I looked at him like he was mentally out of his mind, and so, anywho, I thought you'd appreciate that.
Well, and certainly for a man, it's a little bit easier to have double toiletries because they don't need quite as much stuff.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, sorry, that was a side tangent, but I wanted to know if you had it, and I was the only person because he made it sound like everybody was doing it, and I didn't.
No, no, no.
Okay, so you're a night before packer, but the last minute zip upper.
That's right.
You
Last
roll
minute.
into the airport on two wheels.
That's right. And then I'll be at the gate and have plenty of time. And I'm like, I could have slept 15 more minutes.
Ah,
Oh, it's crazy. So
it's
what do you do?
you know what? I hardly sleep. I feel like I'm late for a test. So the night before, I don't sleep well the night before I fly simply because I'm constantly like, I have to be up in an hour. I've been up in 3 hours. Like I count it down. I don't know why. So if anybody has a trick for that, please tell us. I don't have one. And then I get up, same thing. I have to leave. My airport's an hour from the house.
Oh,
We live out here in the country, here in Los Angeles. I say that to people, and they're always like, "What?" But Karen's been here; she knows it's a country.
yeah.
So it takes a click to get to LAX. So I have to leave an hour before, and I'm the psycho that likes to be at the airport an hour before my flight because LAX is a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get anytime you roll in. So I am up like 3 hours. I usually have to leave the house for that 6 a.m. flight. We all try to get up on that early one because a travel day is a travel day. I leave my house around 4 a.m., which I'm half in the bag. I have to get up and make coffee before I go because I can't drive without coffee. And right now in LA, and it'll be happening for the next like year, they're building the wildlife crossing. I don't know if y'all have heard about this in the news. So
Mm.
in California, they're building a freeway, like a ramp. Think of it as a road above the freeway that is being built for all the wildlife to get back and forth and
Oh,
not get hit. I know it's
oh,
pretty
that.
amazing. Yeah. To get to them, because I live in the mountains and in the mountain passes for them to be able to cross over the freeway and get from either side so that they can migrate and they can, deer and everything, all the wildlife, bobcats, mountain lions, all the things. So it's getting built, which is great. And I'm so thrilled that I get to drive over it every day because I'll get to see, drive past it every day. But right now they're building it. So the freeway is shut down.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to take these back canyon mountain in the middle of the night. So think it's 4 in the morning and you're like, where am I? You feel like a pioneer woman at 4 a.m. I'm like, I can do it. So I have to like put on a good podcast or good music and just try to be really super up with people because I'm like, okay, I've got to navigate back roads, y'all. So anyway,
So
uh,
see, because I don't have to drive as far, that's always a dilemma for me of whether if I have to leave that early, like on a 6 a.m. flight, do I drink coffee or do I try to sleep on the plane? Because I can't do
that
both.
was my next question, Karen. Are you a plane sleeper? Are you a plane sleeper?
I always think I'm going to be, but I never really am able to rest very well. So
Me
I might
neither.
as well just have my coffee.
That's me. I've learned it. I've gotten over it. I'm through it. I cannot sleep on a plane. I should be an air marshal. That should be my part-time gig. What does she do? Stand up, host TV shows, and as an air marshal. I mean, I'm up, I'm vigilant, I'm watching everybody. If somebody looks suspect, you've got too many things in your hands. I'm like, okay. That's me. I'm up the whole time. I can't sleep.
Mm.
I wish I could.
And then once I get where I'm going, do you always Uber? Do you rent a car? Does it just depend?
It depends. So it depends on what I'm working on. If it's like the home show I'm lucky to be on right now, my home show, we have to rent a car because we're in small towns looking at country houses. So I'm driving all around the world and so most times though, I'm renting a car. So I have to be real calm because then you have to get your bags, get off, figure out where the rental car is. It's a whole thing. When it's comedy, I'm a little luckier because someone will pick me up or
Yeah.
I have an Uber or, something so I can be a little more on autopilot. But when I have to be hyper vigilant now, I've traveled all day. I've been up since dark 30.
Yeah.
So I have to navigate a town and interstates I've never been on. I'm like, you're doing great, girl. It's a lot of positive self talk. A lot of positive.
Yeah. And hoping that GPS is going to work because sometimes you don't get as good a signal.
Preach on that. Is that not the truth? I have to look at it on the plane sometimes in case it isn't going to work for where I'm headed because I'm in a lot of rural places.
Right. I was in Iowa one time, and I was out in cow country, and I wasn't getting enough juice to power my GPS, and so I called the venue, and I told Carl, I said, "Yeah, I'm lost, and my GPS isn't working," and he said, "Where are you?" I said, "Well, Carl, that is the question." And he said, "Well, look around. Tell me what you see." And I said, "Okay, cornfield, silo, cornfield."
Sorry.
And he goes, "Well, which way are you going, east or west?" And I said, "Carl, I don't know. So I'm telling you, my GPS, I'm not getting a strong enough signal to power my GPS, and I don't know which way I'm going." And he said, "Where is the sun?"
Son of a.
And I said, "Sun's in the sky, you a-hole." Do I sound like an Eagle Scout? I mean, really, Carl. Do I sound
Honest to God, Carl. We're doing all that we can. Why do people ask those kinds of questions? I was a Girl Scout just to sell cookies. I didn't learn the positions of the sun, Carl.
so? Anyway, it is sometimes you get in situations. I remember Etta Mae followed
Oh, Edame, man.
and went off on this dirt road and ended up at a barn and a cow looking at her and a dead end to a barn. And she's like, "Well, hey, you look like the cow was just like, thanks,
Hey, friend, wrong way, but hey, girl, hey.
hey, girl."
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Edame, one of the best road like dogs, I would say. She doesn't get lost for nothing, and that makes me kind of happy
Yeah, yeah,
that
she
she,
got
of all people, ran into a barn. Well, not ran into, but yeah,
I
ended up
ran
in a
into
barn.
it, but drove right up
Drove
to
right
it.
up to it.
This is the
Hey,
end of the road. I don't think my GPS is right.
it is true when you're on the road, the things that you have to like mentally prep for because you can't get frustrated. Or I've learned that it doesn't do you any service if you do get frustrated.
Right. That's right.
That's the two things I need when I'm on the road is I have to have and y'all, we've been in every situation. Karen and I, there's nothing above us or beneath us. We've stayed in every which kind of situation. I've been in a plane where I thought, are they going to ask me to fly it or spin the propeller? I've been in everything, every way. And my only real, like, hard, fast rule now is I will not stay in any hotel that the door opens to the road. I know that sounds like, but I won't. You can see me walk into my room. I ain't doing
Yeah,
it.
that's a little unnerving.
That's
Yep.
unnerving. That's a thank you. And sometimes we're in these little bitty no town towns right now with the no show that I'm on, and I have to kindly remind my all male crew that Mama don't want a door that opens to the road, and they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Yo, to be a man, men don't think of that. Men
No,
don't think of that.
no, it's
They don't.
true.
They don't."
The other thing with a hotel, when I get in a hotel, what is your number one thing that you feel like you have to have in a
In a
hotel?
hotel room.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm real bougie now and it's real hard. So I have to really breathe when I get in a hotel room. But number one, I have to have number one, I have to have the temperature. Like I have to see that what temperature. I'm a nut about the temperature, but I have to have if I can help it, a king bed. I have to have a full size bed, and then it has to be like spotlessly clean. And I clean my room anyway once I get in my room. I have a lot of Clorox wipes.
Yeah, I get it.
What's
And
yours?
well, the temperature is a big one, but another pet peeve of mine is, I mean, what will make me ask for a different room, and sometimes it's a hotel and it's no better in a different room, but if I don't have good water pressure, I
Oh,
I wanna go postal. I'm not kidding. I can't not stand
uh,
to
Karen,
have a shower.
speak on that. If that is not the truth, it's so funny you just said that because as you were just saying it, I was thinking, what are the three things I do? I start the shower. Not the sink is different, but the shower I do. That's down the list. My first thing is cleanliness. Like I walk it. I don't even undo my bags. I walk the cleanliness factor and I look at the air, like what kind of air situation I'm dealing with. And then you're right. I do the water pressure, but that's like third down my list because I have to really inspect the cleanliness
Well,
like a
yeah, I mean,
weirdo.
it has to be clean for sure.
Yeah.
But it, or if the toilet won't flush or the
Yes.
drains don't drain, that just, oh, sends
I
me into
know.
a rage.
I don't. I know I'm spoiled because when I travel with Jace, my husband, they have real hoopty rooms. Like they're in hoopty doo rooms.
Yeah,
I'm
of
like,
course
this
they
ain't
got
no Hampton Inn. This ain't a La Quinta. Yeah. I'm
yeah.
like, oh. So definitely, I know I get real spoiled, and then I'm out on these little bitty show towns because again, I'm in tiny towns right now that don't have. They don't have them. They don't have bigger, hotel properties. And I'll get in these rooms, and I'm like, yay! Oh, and I don't use a coffee maker. I do not use a coffee maker in a room.
Yeah,
Mold, y'all, don't use it. If I give you
definitely.
one life tip, if you listen to one thing we've said on this podcast, do not use in room coffee makers. Mold in
Same.
the
I don't
lines. Yeah,
mm-mm,
that's a
no.
huge one. Okay, so you get in the room. Do you travel on show days or do you go before?
It varies. It varies on. I always look. I go on show days some, but it depends on how easy it is to get in, how far it is, if there's alternate flights in case something gets canceled. All those things factor in.
Yes.
Uh, and I would rather go late at night the night before as to have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go the next day. So there's a lot of factors. Sometimes I have to. Sometimes maybe I had that's like this week. I did a benefit outside of Nashville for New Leash on Life for a dog
I
organization,
saw
and
you
it's
making out with those puppies on Instagram. I had FOMO in the worst way. I was like, Karen, look how fun that looks.
I know it was so good, but then I had to go to Fayetteville, North Carolina, the next morning, so I didn't have a choice but to
Turnaround.
travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, day of show. So a lot of times I don't have a choice, but when I do have a choice, I usually go the night before 90% of the time.
Same. That's me.
Yeah.
If I can afford the travel day, I will do it for my peace of mind. And just rest. I also feel like I'm a little less jumbly. A little, I can be more focused. So I always wonder if that's just my preference or if that's an everybody preference.
No, and I hate to go in and have to do a show if I feel like I've got the flu because I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and didn't have any sleep. So for the
That's a preach on that, man. Isn't that the truth? Or sometimes you're like, why do I feel like I'm leaving my body? And you're like, we haven't had any sleep. And which will bring me to my next question. Do you take a comedy nap before I take a comedy nap. Do you take
you
a comedy? I do.
I used to always take a comedy nap, but I haven't taken comedy naps much anymore, unless I do have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll go in. Like this trip, when I came to Fayetteville, I got back from Nashville at 1 in the morning. I had to get up at 4:30, so and I didn't sleep the time I was in
Of
the bed
of
because I was.
course.
And so when I got to Fayetteville, I went straight to my hotel and went to bed. So
Good.
then, yeah, for that situation, I definitely will. But if
Okay.
it's just a day that I wake up where I am and don't have to travel, I don't take a comedy nap anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore.
I hope I hit that point because I'll tell you, I always joke it takes me, y'all. I always say for me to go on stage to do anything, it's an hour and 45 minutes to natural. It takes me a buttery minute to click my hair and face together. It's just how it rolls, right? But I will tell you that the comedy nap just helps me. And now I've learned too to do like I do a morning meditation on my Peloton app, everybody. That's been my other go to. It's been being able to meditate. That's been a big, some people may sit in prayer, whatever speaks to you, but I meditate in the morning, which also kind of helps me. Or if I'm too wired or just got a lot of anticipation for a show, I
Yeah.
will do a meditation before I go to get ready for the show. If I'm just too antsy to lay down, but I have to power down. It's like I'm like a I'm like a phone. I have to get on my power pad and charge.
Yes, exactly. I do a lot of deep breathing when I need to.
Yes. You
Yeah.
know what? There's something to be said for that. That's a whole nother episode in and of itself. But doing like breath work in any way you can.
Yeah, there's something about getting oxygen to your brain and other parts of your body that really does make a difference.
It's shocking. They should do a study on that.
I remember my aunt, she this was, you know, 30 years ago, but she was always sick and then, just didn't feel good, and my dad would tell her, "Polly, while you're sitting there, you need to take deep breaths and you need to try to get, oxygen to in your body to your brain in different areas, and so you need to deep breathe." And he got so frustrated with her, and he said one day to me, he said, "Oh Lord, she's too lazy to breathe. I can't worry. Too lazy to breathe." I thought that was
I
hilarious.
mean, but by the way, that's such a clap back from country people. Like you know what I'm like. We're gonna say something. It's about as mean as we could say it. And your sweet daddy's like, she's too lazy to breathe. I mean, that's the lowest common denominator there, Aunt Polly. You need to get your shit together. I'm just saying. If
Yeah,
you are too lazy to breathe, it
breathe.
doesn't get much lazier.
And then I went to yoga class one time, and it was just so much breathing, and I walked out and I thought, "Oh Lord, I hope I'm not too lazy to breathe," because
It's
I
a
was worn
lot of
out.
breathing, a lot of in, a lot of out.
I know, but
Girl,
that's it
I
does make
love
a
it. It makes a huge difference. Now, let me ask you this: at the end of the day, post show, are you a wired and tired? Like it takes you a minute to come down, or can you just power down?
no, it takes me more than a minute. And I try so hard to be a morning person, and I just don't know if it's just so many years of being on the road and doing late night and doing shows. I just cannot. I can't power down. I can't go to bed early. I can't get up early, or I, and I try. I try when I'm home and off the road to turn back into a morning person. I say turn back into it. I've never
Never
been one.
been one. You're trying to get that
Yes,
habit.
I'm really trying to change that habit, and it's so hard for me. Now, you are a morning person,
I am
aren't
a
you?
morning person, big time. I know my husband always said everybody thought he was a morning person. He goes, I thought I was a morning person until I married you. He's like, he goes, you make Snow White look grumpy. Like, I do. I wake up extraordinarily. Oh, that's my dude. My dude is in here co-signing it with his toys. My doodle, y'all. Yes, I wake up like if I wake up in a bad mood, y'all like call somebody because that ain't right. I mean, I always have been that way. Even as a little kid, my mom was like, it would really freaked us all out because you'd wake up just like, today's today. I would wake up and say, today's today. They'd be like, what the hell does that mean?
Like Piglet.
Yeah, today is today. Look at you. But I do. I wake up to Jay's first thing in the morning and I'm like, good morning. I said, something amazing's going to happen today. I do it every day. And I love it. I love being a morning person. I will say for me, when we finish a show or we're on the road, I have to have a nighttime ritual and a morning ritual to power up and power down. Dude's co-signing it, y'all. For some reason, my dog, I think, is so happy I'm home from the road right now. He's in there on the rug in my studio, just doing the back wiggles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, duder. Um, so yes, I have always been, but post show, the come down is hard for me. The come down is hard. I do have to like genuinely power down. I have to, and I will have a whole nighttime ritual to go to bed, which is like I usually shower, which helps me. That's a big one. Things I've been doing on the road that also help because we travel so much. This is a pro tip, y'all. I just started doing it about 2 months ago, and it has made a massive difference. I bloat. I swell like a tick when I fly. I don't know if you do, Kay. My doodle has decided to grab every squeaky toy, y'all. So I apologize if you're hearing.
He's deciding this podcast is time to end.
Yeah, he's over here like wrap it up like a producer with a he has a chicken from Moana. Hey hey, well, he has that as a squeaky toy, and he's over here just spinning hey hey around going. So
It's like giving us a light.
it is. He's
Giving
like,
us a squeaky toy.
oh yeah, and Corey's like, he's not wrong. 5 minutes left. Okay, well that's good to know. Yes, so for me, I have to power down, and I've been using castor oil, y'all.
I've read so many great things about castor oil.
It's a game changer, Kay. I've started using castor oil. You put it, here's a quick pro tip. It's a tablespoon, like good pressed. Don't get like some weird, like make sure it's organic castor oil. Doesn't have a bunch of other seed oils in it. I sound so Californian saying that, but just make sure it's good castor oil. And you put about a tablespoon of it, rub it in underneath your right ribs. So like right side rib cage, it's where your liver's at. It helps detoxify and takes the bloat out. And I do it every night when I'm on the road. Y'all, I cannot. I'm not kidding. My fingers look like linky sausages when I travel. I am swole, and the difference it has made.
Really,
Karen, I've been doing it now. I wasn't gonna. I'm one of those people. I do it, and when I've been doing it a minute, then I'll tell people because I'm not like, try it. Let's see if it works. Well, it works. So I've been doing it. They sell these like packs, these little like muslin wraps. I will put a link to it below what I've been using, and. I have a little travel vial of the castor oil because a little goes a long way. And I get the big one. I bought the big jumbo thing and I just fill it for my road kit. And you have this little wrap so it doesn't get all your clothes oily, unless you just have some funky t-shirt, I guess you don't care about, or whatever you want to sleep in. But I've been putting it on. I put the wrap on. I sleep in it. I get up in the morning and I'm like, this is crazy because I've noticed the full difference when I travel, not only on travel days, but I also notice it when I'm on the road and I have to get up because usually I'm swole. My whole face everything's swollen.
Yeah.
It has been a game changer. So we'll put a link to it on the show notes so y'all can see.
I need that link.
Oh yeah, no, I'll give it to you. I'm telling you, it's like all my supplements, we can do a morning routine episode later, but it's been learning all the things. I know on my health journey. No, it's just I try to get as much sleep as possible. I drink a crap ton of water. I do electrolytes before I have coffee. Element, by the way, are the best. And so are Redmond Relight. That's another one. We'll put the links to all these so y'all don't have to sit here and find them. And I have that before when my coffee's brewing. I have my electrolytes.
Yes.
And I have electrolytes before I go to bed post show.
Oh, you do? No, I don't do that.
Well, think about this. When somebody says something and you're like, well, that's too much common sense. I was listening to some, amazing health person on a podcast, and they said, think about it. When you sleep, it's the longest you go without any hydration. So you're so dehydrated and all the minerals are leaving your body and your body's in repair mode while we sleep. It's in full, like, get her back up to life. And so I take the electrolytes before bed and I can literally, I know it's mental, I'm making it up, it's placebo, but I can feel them like going in and being like, go to work, she's sleeping.
Well, back in shape.
Hurry up, we gotta turn this around.
We got 7 hours.
That's right. She ain't gonna be asleep for long. So I do it right when I go to bed and right when I wake up. And I have noticed the difference, not only in my energy, but just how I feel. So I'm telling y'all, it's the little look, and it's not buying a lot of stuff. That's the other thing. I used to be the heifer that bought a bunch of supplements and then they'd go bad because I didn't use them. So it's really, it's been a game changer. And honestly, at home I do the same thing. So at home, do you do the same things you do on the road?
Oh no, I do not. But I walk dogs all day. But now I take my vitamins. I'm much more. See, I do so much better at home.
Me too.
I really do. I do so much better. I am on such a more regimented schedule. But I get up, I have some water, then I have my coffee, and then I get out in the sunshine. And I'm starting to take my shoes off and have the earth
grounding. Good for you,
Yes.
Kay. That's a big deal.
It is, and then we come back in after the dog's potty. We come back in, and then they have treats while I have my coffee, and then we go for a good long walk, and it's so much more regimented,
Yes.
And when I can have like some extended time at home, and this is another episode, but I go to cryotherapy, I go to red light therapy, I do all the things that I don't do on the road, and I feel so much better after I do them because of,
Well,
just what I went through.
it's the self-care, and it's also undoing, and taking care of everything that our bodies go through. And that's really, and everything that you physically have gone through to be back and being a workhorse on the road. I mean, do you know how many people would sit and rest in a cancer story, or B, a car accident story? Either of those separately would be their whole story. You've got both of those stories, not only cancer once, but twice. And you were like, not my story. Got to keep it pushing. And I think that's another massive part of like how you do life. It's so beautiful. You're like, nah, we're going to keep it pushing. And I
We
love
just
that
gotta
about
keep
you.
it. Yeah. Well, you stop, you're done. That's the way I
Preach
look at
on that.
it. And I asked my doctor recently, my oncologist, I said, I'm really tired and I just want to make sure. I don't always know what's cancer tired versus just tired from doing all that I do. And he said, the way you travel and help take care of your mom and get in and out of airports all the time, someone who really had no energy could not do it.
Preach. That's right.
So you got energy. You're
That
just tired,
you're just tired.
but you're
Yeah.
good.
It's
So
about powering down. No, I know. I've worried about that with you. I'm like, is she looking at her health? But I know you are, and I know that you care for everybody. So I'm like, let's make sure of that. But it's a fine line of knowing when you have to say to people, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that, or no, I need to take a day for me to go do. And when you're home, like the dog, we were just talking about that. We just read, Jason, I read that if you walk 2 miles a day, that lowers your risk of cancer or cancer reoccurrence by 65%. 2 miles a day. And we looked at our dogs because we have big dogs. They have to go 2 miles a day. They have
yeah.
to. And we both looked at the dogs. We're like, we love you. Thank you for keeping us healthy and strong. Because I would lay up in this house if I didn't have the dogs to make me get out and do. So,
And that is one thing on the road. I don't get out and as much. I stay in the hotel room till showtime a lot of times, other than just going to lunch or grabbing coffee, whatever. But when I'm home, those dogs
that's
make
right.
sure that I'm getting sunlight, I'm getting steps. I mean, aside for them being angels from heaven, a dog, they keep you healthy.
They keep you healthy.
They
I
do.
know it. I know it. I just said the dude this morning, I said, the doodle, because I swear I think he's a human. I wanted to get him those buttons, but I'm afraid he'll be like, listen, you've been gone too long. Like he'll just sit there and just make a whole sentence. He'll be like, and I need a button that says, seriously, what? Like he'll just be typing. He'll
They
want to,
type out,
yeah,
mom,
mom,
we need to talk.
it's come to our attention. He'll just be,
That's funny.
I won't get him the buttons for that reason, but
It's come to
he
our attention that you are away from home way too
way
much.
too much. Way too much. I mean, honestly, I know it has been being at home. I'm a much more aware of my health person, and I'm aware of my health, but I'm very aware when I'm at home. Like if I'm making a choice, James Clear says it. If you don't never read Atomic Habits, you can tell I read all the time, y'all. James Clear wrote a book called The Atomic Habits. Great book if you've never read it. But
Yes,
he
yes.
says, and I think of it all the time. I've probably said it before, but I'll say it again. Every choice you make is a decision for who you want to become. Every single choice you make. I might have jacked up, paraphrased it, but it's every single decision you make is a vote for the person you want to become. And so I'll be more aware when I'm home if I don't work out or I want to eat something junky or because I'm like, it's all available to you at home. You don't
Yeah,
have the excuse that, well, all we've got out here is an Applebee's and a Buc-ee's.
right.
Nay, nay, sis.
Yeah,
So
you've got the Whole Foods. You've got it right there.
that's right. So making the better choices. That's what it's about being home.
Mhm.
Okay. I can't wait. I get to see you in like 2 weeks.
Yes, I'm so excited. I can't
Y'all.
wait.
I
And
know. I get to see you.
you know what
And
we have to do?
what? Are we getting oysters?
Oysters at the boathouse. We've got to do it.
Okay, Karen lives in Chattanooga, y'all, and one of my favorite places in the whole wide world is the Boathouse in Chattanooga, Tennessee. If y'all have never been, if you're going through Chattanooga, stop. I do not get paid to say this, neither does Kay. But
Sits on
honey,
the Tennessee River and
it's
has
beautiful.
beautiful and has wonderful oysters and leeks.
Those fried leeks, I don't have a lick of sense. Y'all, they make bougie onion rings, for lack of a better word. Okay, they're fried leeks in this panko gluten-free breadcrumb magic, and I stick my face in them. I get like a feed bucket. We usually get 2 orders because I get a little selfish and don't want to share. And Kay, oh, okay, we get to go to the boathouse. I didn't even think about that joy that's happening. And if y'all have never been to Chattanooga, Tennessee, I say it all the time. Chattanooga is the best kept secret in the United States. It's the coolest city ever. It really is.
It
I
really
was just in Asheville working last week, and I still think Chattanooga is the coolest. It's like hip, and it's like Portland and Austin had a sister that just went and did her own thing and didn't want anybody up in her business. That's Chattanooga.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love it. And I played basketball at UT Chattanooga. And when I was in college, downtown was not an area you wanted to be in. And now
Oh,
the revitalization of it over the last, 25 years has been just stunning.
it is. It's so cool. The either theater, Walker or Tivoli, is a joy to perform in. I mean,
Yes.
even going down to the Chattanooga Choo Choo, y'all have heard of it. There's Comedy Catch down there too, but the Choo Choo's gorgeous, and you've got a Frothy Monkey. I mean, I just made this an advertisement for how much we love.
We
But
love the
listen,
scenic.
we love us some Chattanooga, and I get to go see Kay there. And listen, y'all, this was a Fast and Furious episode, but you have to remember to like, subscribe, and follow us. It would mean the world. Our guests are coming up real soon because Karen and I get to be home for a second, so we get to actually be in one place and record with a bunch of great, fun people. Your head's going to shoot off when you see who's coming on this show.
That's right. So thank you for hanging in there with us. And I hope you've enjoyed our episodes. And we have great guests coming. So please
We
like,
do.
subscribe, follow, all the things.
All the things. And you can reach out to us if you DM us on either of our socials. But we have What I Know So Far Pod on Instagram and on Facebook. So if you want to leave us messages in either place of who you would like on, topics you want covered, we would love it. We read them all. So we may
Or
not
just
answer them
ask
all.
questions. Or if you want to just ask us questions, because we're going to do a Q&A episode too. So any questions,
Yes.
we'll answer them.
Wait, did you know that the kids call it AMA? I didn't know that that was, and I had to learn. Ask me anything.
Oh,
Ask me anything. And I said, so basically it's a Q&A. And they're like, yeah,
yeah.
but it's AMA. I have
Uh,
stepkids, y'all, that are
those
teens
kids.
and
Yeah.
20s and early 20s. So I've had to learn the lingo of things that I'm like, like cringe. I had to learn these things. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I have to quickly go to my what are you saying, Gen X thesaurus. It's okay. They keep me young. But AMA, Q&A, ask us all the A's, the Q's.
Right.
We love y'all. Corey, thank you to our amazing producer, Corey. Thank you, Butch Walker, for our amazing theme song. Well, it's his song that he lets us use as his theme song because he's the beeswax. And we love y'all. And all the links for all the things we talked about are below. Karen, I love you. I can't wait to see you.
I love you too, Trish. 2 weeks.
Have
I'll see you.
2 weeks. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Mwah. Love you, girl. Have the best day ever, y'all.
You too. Bye, honey.
Bye.